Sean and I are, we've walked a hard road together. I don't know, I think everyone does it to an extent. You kind of plan your life and expect it to go that way. But life didn't quite turn out in that way for us. We wanted 5 years together where we kind of just did life and it was all good. It got to the point where we had the idea to go for the baby. So we started trying, and I think for us, after the 2-year mark, we realised that there were so many of our friends who had been married after us who were falling pregnant, and it was really, really hard to watch all our friends having what we desired most. And I'd just forgotten everything, and I was getting bitter and I was getting twisted, and it really hurt me to see other people falling pregnant, to the point where I became somebody I don't think I was. I turned away from God at one point. I didn't want to know him. I blamed him. I thought he didn't care enough for me, but he cared for everybody else. I remember screaming at God sometimes, just saying, why is it that you bless everybody else and you've left me on the shelf? I needed to change because I could see the pain that I was causing them and other people, and I just thought, this isn't who I am. This isn't who God's made me to be. You praise him when it's all going right, but actually you need to praise him when it's all going wrong. And I remember suddenly thinking, my brother kept saying things to me like, you know, you look a bit different, you're putting on a bit of weight, or gosh, you're always hungry. And I'm thinking, that's true. And then I suddenly thought, I'm sure like there's something wrong with this. I don't feel quite right. I was so used to taking these tests, and because I'd almost really gotten over it, I took this test and it felt really weird. And I was so convinced I wasn't pregnant, I left it on the side and I walked off and forgot about it. And I went in and I was like, it says I am, it must be faulty. And he was like, yeah, it must be. It's probably a really old test. Go to work, try and find one at some point and get one of those really obvious ones that says you are or you aren't and how many weeks you are. And I took it, and I was 2 to 3 weeks, and I couldn't quite believe it. So I phoned Sean, he was shocked, I was shocked, and we lived in this state of shocked silence for maybe 2 weeks where we were just like, oh my goodness. And then we were really excited because we were able to kind of, you know, just be excited at something that God had done. But it was like such a long road to that point that we felt like God had just answered this prayer. But maybe we'd needed to go through that process for a reason. Maybe I needed to learn my side of the story because I walked away from this all-powerful God because I didn't trust him and I didn't believe that he had something better for me. And maybe the whole reason I had to almost go through that horrible situation was because I needed to see that actually in the lowest of my low points, he's there. For Ava Rose, the second girl that we've been blessed with, we had to wait the 2 years, but there was something different about the way. It wasn't that I wanted her any less, because I wanted her, but it was almost like I knew that if it didn't happen, God was there in it anyway, and if it did happen, it was okay too. So either way, I kind of rested in God. Church were phenomenal, and I am not just saying it because this is for the church. Actually, people really loved us through this process, and really, you know, some of my friends that I was telling you about who fell pregnant, they were still our friends, even though it must have hurt them to see me not happy for them almost, although I was, but I didn't know how to show it, and yet they stuck with us, and it's amazing. And you know, I feel quite emotional even just talking about it, because God, friends, family, they're the ones that get you through, and actually it's God working in those people. So it's all about God, it all comes back to him. He sent the right people at the right time for us, and a lot of them are still very much around us and supporting us. So this is us, and we are not growing in number. This is fine now, but we've got Arlia, who is our 6-year-old. Sorry if you can hear the crunching there. And then this is Ava Rose, who is the little whirlwind. But yeah, they both get on really well. They, as you can see, they like sharing. They're really lovely sisters to each other. And I think we're a happy little family. Don't always get it right. Things go wrong. We certainly need to practice patience, but they're ours.
Hey Mummy, this crisp looks like a 6. And I am 6?